want a shout out from you guys.
SourceFed was thus shut down, and like the Philip DeFranco show was seeing its final days. The only way that Philip DeFranco was going to be able to keep the Philip DeFranco show running is if he signed another 7-figure deal with somebody like Discovery, meaning that it would be controlled by a higher power once again. He was left trying to fund an independent news source with what very little money the channel has been making, especially after YouTube's demonetization period. Now, wanting to make the channel independent news and also something that is reliable, he decided to ask for people to invest who generally cared about the project. The fans. Kavos made an incredible video, and it is absolutely brilliant, by the way, because I don't know how somebody could do this little research or just completely gloss over facts to the point where they're literally making it up on the spot. But he said that in one of the tweets that Philip DeFranco posted that he was promising the new Philip DeFranco show.
This whole situation first piqued my interest in August when I put out a tweet saying, after months and months, where is Phil DeFranco's new network, or is that money on his Patreon going to pocket? Then I got a reply which linked me to Philly D's tweet saying, the new DeFranco show is almost there, so close. See you soon. So it's been 4 months since that tweet, so let's see if a new DeFranco show lives up to all its promises. I mean, I assume it's out by now. It's been 4 months.
The new Philip DeFranco show, don't you mean the PDS? Which is every, like, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. You mean the YouTube channel, right, Kavos? You do know that he doesn't mean he's creating an entire new show. He meant he was uploading a video. But no, it's this entirely new show that he never promised in the first place, because everybody knows that his Patreon was just to reinforce the Philip DeFranco channel. But you know, research is hard. If you actually go to his Patreon, it actually tells you what he is delivering, what the main goal is, and it's all there. His aim is to upload more episodes of the Philip DeFranco show, not create an entirely new one. He just wants to improve on the show that he's got currently and remove higher up people who can fuck with the vision that he's going for. Now, if you didn't realise that there was going to be some form of hidden agenda here, Kavos then goes on to compare Keemstar with Philip DeFranco.
And there's no reason why Philip DeFranco should be asking his fans to fund shit that's way extra and he doesn't even need. He can edit and make his videos on his own like he used to. And in comparison to this, other channels in similar genres as Phil, such as Drama Alert run by Keemstar, he only has 2 employees.
Yeah, and it fucking shows. Yeah, you got that guy who does reliable independent news who very rarely ever gets a story wrong, if even at all. And then you've got the guy who falsely calls people pedophiles. Don't get them confused. Please don't ever compare those two. And while we're on the topic of people scamming their fans for projects, Keemstar, where is Bad Trip? The game that you brought out, that you wanted your fans to pre-order and pay for, that never even got out of alpha in 2013. Philip DeFranco is actually still uploading videos and delivering on what he's being paid for to the full extent, but I'm still waiting for Bad Trip to come out, mate. Where's my copy? That's scamming your fan base. Asking people to pay for something that you never actually release. Now, we're going to get onto one of my personal issues here, which is hiding the Patreon amount. And the only reason why I see it as a personal issue is because, as somebody who did pledge, it'd be nice to see how much the show was being funded, purely out of an interest space, but it's not something that we're owed. But if he did keep it public, it would show that he wants to be transparent. And that's pretty big for somebody who's pledging or may want to pledge. Now, Philip DeFranco actually explained why he does this on the H3 podcast.
So I don't show it because we don't see it, once again, as donations. If it was a donation site, like when there was the legal fund, right? Of course, show it. But I see what we're doing, once again, as very close to Rooster Teeth first. We're in like the infancy of it. More and more of the content is being made. Content, stuff, access, all that is, there's a one-to-one transaction.
Philip DeFranco sees his Patreon as a subscription service and not a donation platform, which Patreon tends to have it seen as. In the same way that you pay $5 for a movie, you don't necessarily need to see how much money that movie has made to know whether what you're going to get is what you paid for and has been funded to the full extent. In my personal opinion, the only reason he would actually have in keeping it public is to come across as not insightful to people who aren't even going to pledge to it anyway, and are incredibly skeptical. I also understand one of the reasons why he hasn't kept it public, and that's because a lot of people recently have been trying to figure out where the money's going, alluding to the fact that maybe the 2 new cushions are where all the estimated 250k is going, which is not even a figure that we could even know is accurate at the moment. One of my big issues with being a YouTuber and seeing Philip DeFranco doing what he's doing is that even other YouTubers who never put any money into the content they're producing, or YouTubers who just don't seem to ever know what's going on, let alone people, don't actually know how much money it costs to run a business, have a set, and hire editors. And that is just a small group of things that Philip DeFranco is doing. In fact, he actually goes on the H3 podcast recently and explains where the money is going, and still, that probably doesn't even cover half, let alone a quarter, of where the money actually has to go to just keep it running at a reasonable price without even guaranteeing profits. People see a millionaire like Philip DeFranco and believe he should have bought a fucking Death Star by now, when that just isn't the case. The ignorance of people not knowing what actually goes into creating a show like his, or let alone a YouTube channel with a set and editors and staff, isn't just ignorance, but it's just plain hateful and borderline defamation of character. Before you critique how much money he's receiving, at least try and understand what he actually has to pay for first. Millionaire or not, he's trying to actually run a successful working company. People have argued that he should fund it out of his own pocket, but at the same time, he'd probably be broke. I mean, it's maybe something that people don't like, but a millionaire is no longer a millionaire if they spend their million. And judging that he's actually giving something in return, he's actually giving you a service, the least you could do is fucking pay for it. Just because Netflix make millions of dollars doesn't mean that I believe that I should have my Netflix subscription for free because of the fact that they already make enough. Oh, look at this. I'm pretty sure the people who made Netflix are millionaires by now. Can't believe I'm even still paying for it. It would be like me going into your workplace, let's say McDonald's, taking a hamburger out from behind the counter and going, I already know that you've grossed multiple billions this year. That's my fucking Big Mac. I mean, the only thing that's an improvement on this is if it was on YouTube and it was still free, even if you didn't fund it. And if Philip DeFranco actually was a money whore, he would have just signed another 7-figure deal. He wouldn't be trying to run an independent news source where there is nothing getting in the way between him, the news, and you. He would have sold his soul away for millions of dollars more profit, and also a fully funded studio and set. But he would have strings attached where he'd have to meet the requirements of said employer. Now, a lot of people aren't really sure where the money's going, and that's something that I also find incredibly hard to believe, because if you watched his second channel, yes, the second channel that is advertised showing the journey that the Philip DeFranco show is going on. As well as that, they moved offices, he's hired new people, and he's been moving in for the entire year. A lot of people say, why does his set seem to cost so much? You know, it's just a couch and a bunch of pillows. It doesn't look like a news show. It's because he's trying to be the everyday man. He's trying to show you that you don't need a flashy CNN news set to be a news channel. And honestly, would you want it that way? That's like knowing that I make $1 million a month and going, wow, just a fucking sign? Why isn't he recording it in front of his Beverly Hills mansion? At the end of the day, you do not know what goes into Philip DeFranco's show. You do not know what money is going in and out. You do not know what he's paying for. But I can tell you this. Just because you don't know doesn't mean that you should assume and then spread that false information because of your own personal distaste for a man. All in all, calling Philip DeFranco a scam artist is nothing but a mistruth at the moment, because currently none of us could possibly know how or where this is going. Even Philip DeFranco doesn't know the time that it's going to take to put all of this together. Currently, he is delivering on his promise, although people like John Scarce have complained that they haven't received rewards. But even though this is an issue, Philip DeFranco has a person hired that you could contact to actually receive your rewards if you have issues.
Right. It's like literally based off of one tweet from a guy that's like, but I don't think he's scamming anybody.
I saw that tweet by Scarce, actually. I thought it was, I mean, he's like, I didn't get my stuff, but I think he's
Yeah.
good and the
Which
money's going to good
scarce.
use. It's like,
Contact us, send a message. I'll also send you a mug. I don't think you were at that tier.
Now, as somebody who mass ships